Welcome to Mindfully Chaotic. I'm Amanda Marie, New England-based intuitive healer, community builder, manifestation artist, and founder of Wicked Smart Wellness. Life is a journey unique to each and every one of us, with ups and downs and curves and an infinite amount of possibilities. I know firsthand what it's like to feel defeated, but I've learned how to challenge life and create opportunities in abundance for myself as I move forward down any and every path I choose. My intention is to guide you to harness your own power to create for yourself the journey that you thought was only possible in your dreams. Growth does not need to happen alone, so between myself and occasional guests from the community, I will share with you the tools to shift your mindset, strengthen your intuition, and bring forward all of your intentions. When you live and speak your truth, what you say and do will manifest. Thank you for listening to Mindfully Chaotic. Hello. Welcome back to another episode of Mindfully Chaotic. I'm Amanda Marie, and today we are going to talk about confidence in chaos. What does confidence in chaos mean, you may ask? Well, it means, how do we learn how to be confident despite all of the unknown and the uncertainty and the chaos and just like the reality of life that happens around us? Like, sometimes it's hard to remain confident in our decisions, in our choices, and who we are and what we do if we feel like things aren't going our way, or if things are just all over the place, a little bit messy. It can be hard to believe in ourselves when that happens. So we're going to talk a little bit about finding confidence in chaos. And since I do share the videos and not just audio segments now, I was trying to decide what to do while talking about this. So I am currently teaching myself how to crochet because it's been on my list for a while. And I did spend a lot of time before starting this video. Not a lot of time, I say that, but really it was like a couple of minutes. I'm dramatic. But I spent a few minutes trying to familiarize myself with how to get started, to do a slip knot and a chain stitch. And I decided, since this is not a crochet tutorial, and you don't need to watch minutes of me just tie and untie yarn while I try to figure out how to do it. I decided I'd skip that part and just get right to the whole, kind of having a slight idea of how it works and seeing if I miraculously come up with something while I'm talking to you guys. So we'll see what happens. And yeah, this should be fun. Anyway, with that being said, that took a lot of confidence too, because I don't usually not that I don't like to do it, but it's kind of new for me to be showing myself doing something new that I don't have experience in, for the first time ever, just on a video, letting people see me struggle and not have it right or know what I'm doing. So this is kind of a cool little test at, that for myself. Anyway, okay. So, finding confidence in chaos. There's a couple of things that come to mind to me that I wanted to share with you today in regards to that. And one of them involves learning how to say the word no, whether it's to others or to yourself. It's becoming okay with saying the word no, and it's okay with hearing the word no. It's realizing that it is okay not to be able to do something, not to want to do something. No is a solid answer. But it's also not being afraid of rejection, of being let down, of realizing that sometimes other people, just because someone does say no to something, it doesn't even mean that it might have nothing to do with you. It might not mean that they don't want to help you. It might not mean that they don't it might not mean that they don't believe in you. It might not mean that it just might have nothing to do with you. It might just mean that where they're at and what they're doing, they're not at a place to, hold space, have the conversation, do the work, whatever it may be. And that's their business. You know what I mean? So even though sometimes it sucks to hear the word no, we can't stop or limit ourselves from doing things because we're afraid of that rejection. So what I mean by that is a lot of times in life when we want to do something, we're so afraid of being let down, not doing it the way that we thought we were going to do it, or like not getting the response or the outcome or the results that we wanted. And that just like stops us from doing it all. So that's kind of where there tends to be a lack in confidence and a fear in trying new things or doing new things or meeting new people or just finding new experiences, any of that stuff. Sometimes we put that off because we're afraid of, rejection, failure, a lot of things that are completely natural human things to feel, and also are all actually really important lessons in our life, because if we don't try things and we don't know what the results are, then we just will never know. Like there's no, so it's like, here's the thing, you can be afraid to try, but I think you should be more afraid of never knowing. So what I mean by that is like, okay, so you try and it doesn't work. Okay, now you know. But if you don't try, you never know if it would work. So anyway, one of the things that I'm getting at involves really believing in yourself enough that it doesn't bother you if other people don't. And that is so much easier said than done, obviously, but it's still important. So if you like, we were talking about like season 3 of Mindfully Chaotic, what my plans are for that, and how I have some really high profile guests coming. Someone actually asked me how I started lining them up. And honestly, it was as simple as I realized if I didn't just ask, they could never be on my show. So it started with just one of those one of those reality TV stars that I was telling you about. I'm not gonna spoil who any of the guests are yet, because we're just not there yet. But I do have someone who was a finalist on a reality TV show, and I was like, I don't know, like, should I reach out? Is he gonna be like, why is this person reaching out? Or like maybe he gets a lot of people that does reach out. I've seen that he was on a lot of other podcasts. Like, how do I know that he'll even see my message? And so I sent it. I sent the message, knowing that, you know what, at this point, what's the difference? I told myself, like, I could be afraid and I can wonder about all of these things that could happen, or I could actually try and see what happens. So I put it out there and I did not hear back. I did not hear back from him until sometime later, when I was watching one of his videos and I just had a gut feeling where I was like, maybe he didn't see your message, or maybe he was busy and he wanted to respond but didn't get a chance to. Like, who says that you can only try once? You can try things more than once too, once you actually gain the confidence to just go for it and realize that whatever happens, happens. So I commented on the video I was watching and straight up was just like, hey, so I'd love to have you on my show. Is there a proper way to invite you? Something like that. I don't even remember exactly what I said. It was something along those lines. And he was just like, I don't even know if he commented on the video necessarily. Maybe he did. That part doesn't even matter, because what matters is what happened next. And it's that he ended up going to my message in the inbox and straight up was like, oh, you messaging me here was fine. I just didn't see this message before. It was lost in, a sea of messages. Like, I would love to be on the show. And I'm like, whoa. Whoa. So all I had to do was believe in myself, try, and not give up. And the thing is, this all happened over a really big span of time. Like, this wasn't just like one day I was like, let me just try this. I thought about it for a while, and I didn't try for a long time. And then when I finally did, I didn't get the results that I wanted, but I didn't give up. I continued to believe in myself. And here we are. It worked out exactly how I wanted it to, and better, because that then inspired me and encouraged me to move forward and reach out to a lot of other people that I realized might be interested in having a conversation with me, because why not? My show is a great show. My guests have always been awesome. And why wouldn't someone want to be on my show, right? So I realized, and if they don't, then that's okay. And it might just be because it's not for them, not because it has nothing to do with me or you guys, the audience. It could just simply be that for them, just doesn't resonate. That's fine. But like, why not just like try, like, right? And so far, That's worked for me every time now. Like, it's been continuously working for me since I've shifted my mindset to that. And I've realized that as long as I believe in myself and try, I'm going to get results. And that's just one example, because there are other examples. There was someone else who I had reached out to prior to this person. It was another, he's actually a professional athlete who still hasn't got back to me yet. And I have followed up a couple of times, and I'm not giving up hope, because maybe they will get back to me at some point. And if they don't, someone else will, because that's how it works. Because I'm going to keep believing in myself and putting myself out there and making sure that it happens, because that is how we manifest things. Yeah. Right, though? We get an idea. We think about it. We do the work that it takes to, push through our fears, our insecurities, our worries. And then we do the actual physical work to make it happen, whether it be reaching out, making moves, whatever it may be. We got to do the work. And so I've realized that there are times that we're not able to, when we are feeling those human feelings that really kick in, that can sometimes be hard to do anything other than the bare minimum. Sometimes it's hard to do anything other than just survive, and that's okay. We may not feel our most confident in those moments, but just remember that confidence is something that we make for ourselves. We can decide to be confident whenever it is that we're finally ready to be. It just takes some work, just like everything else. It's not an easy feat, honestly. In a world like this, where we get hit with so many different, things that can be painful and stressful things that we have to deal with, it can be really easy to get lost in the chaos, lost in the stress, and lose faith in ourselves. And that is the biggest mistake we all make. So if you are looking to, make a change for yourself, for others, for your community, whether it's in business, whether it's in friendship, whether it's completely personal or has to do with others, the biggest mistake we can make in our lives is giving up on ourselves, not believing in ourselves. That is why I always say it's important to find your truth, learn it, speak it, all that fun stuff. Because if we are not believing in ourselves, then why would anyone else? Why would they? Actually, you know what? I was talking to an awesome friend of mine, Roxy B. Rocker. She is the founder of Embracing Disability, a new magazine and online platform that absolutely incredible. It just, it talks a lot about diversity. It talks about adversity. It talks about embracing all the different parts about us. She brings people from the community together. She's a wonderful friend. I truly enjoy every conversation I have with her. And we were just talking about this. She actually said to me something very similar, in the sense of if we don't believe in ourselves, why would anyone else? So it's true. I've heard it from her. I've said it myself, but sometimes we just need to hear it out loud over and over again. I'm saying this again so that I can go back and listen and remind myself too. If we don't believe in ourselves, why would anyone else? So yes, one of the biggest things that we have to do when building confidence is we need to trust in ourselves, in our choices, and our ability to fail, in our ability to learn when we fail, and our ability to learn when we succeed, because everything that happens in life is a learning experience. And honestly, this is the first thing I talked about with confidence and chaos, was saying the word no. But this kind of is a good segue into the next part, which is really, really important in my opinion. And it's that what other people think of us isn't really our business. Honestly, when it's all said and done, what other people think of us really isn't our business. Actually, people are going to perceive us, how they perceive us, and how they're capable of perceiving us. They're going to hear what they're capable of hearing. They're going to do what they're capable of doing. And it's not always a reflection of us. Sometimes there are things that we may say or do that can, trigger someone or set them off, or set off a certain chain of events. And yes, we should be responsible. We are responsible for how we treat others, how we talk to others. We don't want to be intentionally going out of our way to upset or hurt people, because why would we do that? But it's also not Like if we're putting ourselves out there and we are speaking our truth and we are being true to ourselves in a kind way where we're not harming others, because we are allowed to have personal opinions and be true to ourselves, but we just don't need to hurt people in the process. Like we don't need to judge or shame others because everyone's journey is their journey and that's their business. So how they feel about us is also their business, because how they perceive us doesn't necessarily have to do with anything that we're doing. You can be like me and explain yourself over and over and over and over to get the point across and still have people look at you and be like, I don't get what you're trying to say. Is this what you mean? And you're like, well, I'm confused because I thought I said exactly what I mean. Maybe you didn't get it, so let me try saying it a different way. Listen, sometimes you have to say, no, that's not what I mean. But if that's all you're getting from it, that's okay. And if we need to come back to this in a different way, that's okay too. If we need to go our own way and just kind of agree to disagree, that works. Whatever works per the situation. It's definitely circumstance dependent. It's definitely situation dependent. But you know what I'm saying. I think you're getting the gist of where I'm going with this. And yeah, so I just had a quick second where I realized that I've been twiddling this the entire time and we still do not have a chain stitch. But you know what? I am not going to give up. I am going to keep trying until I figure out how to do this, whether it's now or another time. But right now, I'm still going to keep trying. Anyway, so yeah, basically, I debated how deep I wanted to get into this whole, like, how they feel about me isn't their business, because that's honestly like a whole nother topic that we can kind of get into. But I guess what I'm getting at is when we stop worrying about what other people think of us and we realize that no matter how hard we try to make everyone happy, we're never going to. Things get a little bit more, you feel a little bit more free. Things go a little bit more smooth when you stop stressing so much about what other people are going to think and how they're going to perceive you. Because again, you can't control that. You can be like the perfect person on paper. And if you're listening to me and not watching me, I did in fact do air quotes when I said perfect, because we all know that, like, what, that's a matter of opinion. Like, what is perfect? That's literally like a made up thing. Don't get me going down that rabbit hole either. We're not going to go there. But anyway, you could be like a perfect person on paper and still have plenty of people just not happy with who you are or what you're doing. And usually that reflects them. So when you're trying to regain your confidence, let's go back to kind of the beginning here. It's remembering that it's okay to say no to things that you're not comfortable with. It's okay to hear the word no. It doesn't necessarily mean it has anything to do with you. We don't need to not do things because we're afraid of rejection or failure. And it's really important to not be worried about what other people are thinking about us. Is it okay to want people, like, it's okay to like want to make people happy and to like want to be a positive member of the community, like a good friend, a good family member. But if you're doing your best and you're speaking your truth and you're putting your authentic self out there and it's simply not resonating with someone else, that's okay. Just let it go. Don't worry about it. Don't let it stop you from being you or doing what you want to do, though, because then you're only spiting yourself. What is the point of that? The last thing that I really wanted to talk about, I don't really reference celebrities directly. Sometimes I'll reference friends and I'll quote friends or like, colleagues or people that I've collaborated with or that I've like followed online. But I don't really typically reference celebrities or, moments, newsworthy moments or interview moments or things like that. But I specifically wanted to actually reference, she won best, what was it? Was it best new artist? See, I'm so out of it with like what the award shows are and what the awards are. But I know she just got a Grammy because she's making waves in the industry. And I wanted to highlight Chappell Roan and something that I saw a clip of her saying. I didn't even see the full interview. And I don't think it was from the Grammys. Maybe it was. But someone asked her where she gets her confidence at such a young age. And her answer really blew me away. I only have a small clip of it that I saw. I'll put that in the link here in case anyone wants to check it out. I'll link it to that. It's a very small quick clip. I'm going to get as close to accurate as possible, though I might be off a little bit. But she said something along the lines of, I have walk-away power. And she knew that it was something that could be looked at as controversial while she stood, on a red carpet and was interviewed for her fame. But she made such a good point. It's just that if something is not right for her, she will walk away. And that is a power that we all have. And the only one that really takes it away from ourselves is ourselves. And don't get me wrong, I know there are people in this world who have had it taken away from them. And that's a whole different circumstance. And I'm not trying to take that away from anyone. And that's a whole different, that's a whole different ball game. But I'm talking like when it's all said and done, we have the full power to make these decisions for ourselves of what we want, what we're going to tolerate, what we're going to stand for, what we're going to allow other people to do or not do, and what kind of treatment we accept. And so, I don't know, the idea of walk-away power just really stood out to me. And I also really liked how, the reporter said, like, at such a young age, like, where do you get this confidence? And Chappell's like, well, I have been in the industry for 11 years. Like, I've been a signed artist for 11 years. And so it was a good reminder, too, of that things don't just happen overnight. Like, that confidence was built over time. She mentioned herself that she's been in different phases. She had lots of money. She's had no money. She has seen the hardships. She has seen the rewards. And I just thought it was a perfect example of how a lot of, us in the world can look out there and be like, oh, this person was famous overnight. Like, where do they get all this confidence? How are they doing it? No, ma'am. No, sir. That's not how it happened. Just like most of us, just like almost all of us, you got to put the work in. It takes time, and you will see those results eventually. And there'll be ebbs, there'll be flows. The goods and the bads will fluctuate. But when it's all said and done, you have to trust the process, and you have to believe in yourself, and you have to know what you stand for, and you have to walk away when you can, say no when you can, when you have to, when you believe that something is not right for you. You don't even have to fight about it. There doesn't need to be controversy. You just don't have to take it. We have to, if we want to build confidence and believe in ourselves and bring forward the things that we want to bring forward and really trust in ourselves, in our abilities, in our choices, if we want to be confident, it all starts with, drum roll please, boundaries. What a fun word. No, we are not going to get into an entire conversation about boundaries right now. I actually think I've already done a couple episodes on that, and I'll probably do plenty of more episodes on that as time goes on. But it's true. It's learning what you stand for, learning what you don't, and, setting that stage for yourself and really just being true to yourself. You know how it goes. When you live and speak your truth, what you say and do will manifest. So we got to find our truth. Then we got to live our truth. We got to learn how to make our truth our identity. A lot of times our identity becomes what other people tell us who we are, or what roles society has given us, like certain titles and names of. Our identity needs to be what we want it to be. And we need to decide what makes us who we are, what we believe in, what we're going to put out to the world, and what we're going to accept from the world. And that is the true key to how we are going to become confident despite all of the chaos going around us. Okay? So I think that's pretty much everything I kind of wanted to get at today. I figure I got a slip knot, so first step of crocheting done. Maybe I'll do this again as time goes on and kind of see what happens during some of these videos. It'll almost be like a progression thing. We can see if I gain some confidence in this over time myself, because it was just fun to have something to do while I was talking to you guys, because I talk with my hands a lot as it is anyway. But anyway, that was really everything that I had to say. We got to start getting okay with the word no. No is a full sentence, whether it's us that's saying it or someone saying it to us. And it doesn't mean that we're not good enough for something if someone does say no. Like I said, it's not necessarily a reflection of us. We need to understand that what other people think of us is their business. because we can do the best we can to put our best selves out to the world, and people are still going to only perceive us however they are capable of doing so. And that's okay. That's on them. That is okay. As long as we are true to ourselves, speaking our truth, being kind, not hurting like anything or anyone in the process, then it really doesn't matter how anyone else perceives us, whether it be good or bad. And you know what? Walk away, Paula. Shout out Chapel Roan. I love this, and I am going to run with it because I just love the idea of realizing that, like, if something is not working for us, like, we can just walk away from it, but you also don't have to, because it's up to you. So if you want to keep trying and keep pushing and trying things in different ways, and, you know, going with the ebbs and flows and experimenting and seeing what kind of results you can get, that's what life is. That's what the journey is. It's, you know, learning as we go from everything, from every experience, good, bad, happy, sad, all of that stuff, you know? So that's it. That's how we find confidence in chaos. And I'm really excited to put this out here today because this is also another quick example of, you know, I told you guys, oh, the show's evolving and I'm going to start releasing episodes weekly and keep on track. And I had a long week last week because human life hit us hard at my house. And I didn't record this episode ahead of time. I am about to record and release this today. So it's a good example that things might not always go exactly how I plan. Like, I have episodes for season 3 that I've already recorded and some that I'm scheduling to record, and I'll release those, you know, on the schedule that I plan, and maybe I'll pop random stuff up in between, and maybe things just won't always go as planned. That's okay. That's another piece of finding confidence too, is realizing that things aren't, when we can accept that not everything might exactly look like what it's going to, but like, or what, I'm sorry, not everything is going to look like exactly like what we thought it was, but that it's still like all gonna be okay. That is like a win right there. Trust me. And I say that as a reminder myself because it's something I'm still working on. So yeah, we got lots to come. So thank you so much for supporting Mindfully Chaotic and me and all of our guests and all of our listeners and viewers and just this Mindfully Chaotic community. I am so grateful for all of you. Seriously, I am looking forward for all of the stuff that I have sharing with you. So I'm still following that list that I was talking about. So last episode was the first one of this season was hesitation versus hero nation. We talk about like getting over that hump. We share a lot of tips of things you can do when trying to like get yourself unstuck and get moving. My last episode 2, was about strength and chaos. We talk about some tips that help you kind of like find strength when you're feeling low in the chaos. Today we talked about confidence in chaos. You know how that conversation just went, since we are still having it. And if not, you can always go back and listen to it again. That's fine too. Listen to it as many times as you need to. That's what I do. And sometimes you get to hear things more than once for it to click too. That's something I can definitely relate to. Next episode next week will be about building in chaos, rebuilding ourselves, putting ourselves out there and showing up as the person that we want to be. So thank you so much again for tuning in to Mindfully Chaotic. I'm Amanda Marie, and I'm sending you all love and good vibes.